Hi everyone, this is Pete from Western Australia, and today I want to show you how to restring a Fender Stratocaster. Today mine is a 2009 USA Fender Standard Stratocaster. It has a 2-pin tremolo, and we're going to put some nines on today. So let me show you how I like doing my guitars. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually lube the strings. So basically, this is some cool stuff I found from the States. It's called Tune It. I usually use something called Big Ben's nut sauce, but I couldn't find any of that at the moment. It must be out of stock or something like that. But basically, this is like a special lubricant you put on the nut, on the string tree, and also the saddles as well. Before you start doing this, I recommend taking the back plate off your guitar. That allows you access to the trem block here. Make sure you use something like a little container. This is a little glass container I found from a cheap store. And once you've basically taken off the back screws, make sure you put them somewhere safe like this. And then that way you're not going to lose them. I've done this many times before, so I really highly recommend doing that. Okay, cool. So my guitar is basically set up at the moment, so I'm really happy with the way it plays and everything. So I don't need to worry about the action as such at the moment. But truthfully, every time I change the strings on my guitar, I tend to do a little setup on the saddles, because it does seem to move around a little bit. I think it's because the way the grub screws work. I think it's they can be a little bit volatile sometimes. I know some people put a little bit of nail varnish on the actual grub screws. I've done this on my other Stratocaster, and sometimes it's just in the back of the car, and it kind of vibrates and just kind of moves around. So every so often I do have to do that. Okay, so I've taken the back plate off. I'll put that somewhere safe, put the screws somewhere safe, back plate's over there. Now, real quick, what I'm gonna do is use this Tune It stuff. I'm gonna go over all the contact points of the guitar. So here we go. I'm just gonna put a little blob, I'll just show you what I'm doing here, on the end of this little tool, this implement. There we go. So you can probably see that it's barely anything at all, really. And just going to all the nut slots here. 1, 2, spread it out. 3, maybe a little bit more. There we go. 4, 5, and 6. There we go. Let's make sure it gets in there. There we go. It's almost a little bit like Vaseline, but I think it's a little bit more fine than that. I'd like to think so anyway, because Vaseline's a lot cheaper than this. But I find this is really good if you use a lot of trem and things like that. Okay, that goes underneath the string tree there, string retainer. Okay, then I'm also going to get a little bit and put it on each of the 6 saddles. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, a little bit more. 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, great. So now we're all lubed up and good to go. So what strings am I using, you may ask? Okay, so I've been using for quite some years these Diodario XLs, and they seem to do the trick. They've got a certain feel to them. I've tried all sorts of different brands like Elixirs. I use Elixirs on my acoustic because they seem to be really good for that. But I found they're a little bit sort of stiff on electric guitars. That's just kind of what I've found. These ones seem to last pretty long, and they've got a lovely tone to them. Okay, I recommend getting the multi-packs because you save money. All right, so I'm just going to open up this. Okay, so make sure your work area is basically clean. I'm a bit naughty for this. I tend to like leave things around and end up scratching the back of the guitar. So if there is a few things knocking around, make sure they're all out the way. There's a drill there, don't need that. I have a little kind of project that I did a while ago, which was like I made a guitar from a kit, which is pretty cool. Perhaps I'll show you that at some point. So here's my strings. Now, the other reason I like these strings, these Diodarios, is because they have colored ends, which is super handy. And over the years of playing these strings, I just know them inside and out. I don't need to look at the back of the pack anymore, and it's just real easy to remember. So the first one I'm going to put on is the low E string. And as you're unraveling these, make sure you're just very careful, because they can spring and get you straight in the eye. I once knew a person who worked in it was like a circus, believe it or not, and he used to spin plates And the story goes that he actually went like that on one of the top of the plates, plate spikes, I should say, and he blinded himself. That story was, rings true to me, so I'm always very careful with my eyes here. Okay, as you get these out, I kind of just sort of do this, so they come out. Don't kink them, whatever you do, because that'll ruin the string as well. Okay, so you get basically 2 strings here. I tend to make sure, if I'm just doing a normal string change, I don't actually take all the strings off at once. I just do one at a time, because then the trem unit remains the same. So this guitar will take about a day to settle in once I put the strings on. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this low E on here. So here's the back of the guitar, and it's going to go in through. Make sure you get the right hole right here. This is the low E slot. So here we go. Go up and through. Make sure it goes right through and in between the saddle slot there. Hopefully you can see that. I've got this weird way of doing things. So basically, it's a bit awkward. Basically, pull that through there. Make sure it sits right in the back. You can get ball end Fenders, but they changed hands a few years ago. I think a different company makes them now, and they just never felt as good again. The bullets were great strings, but super bullets I used to play, but not anymore. Okay, so let me show you my special way of restringing up here. So I used to have a Gibson Explorer, and I remember buying it for the first time in about 2005. I loved it. I took it to the first gig, and immediately went out of tune. It was horrible, and I was like, what is wrong with this guitar? And apparently you have to string those guitars in a specific way. There's a way that Gibson does them. It kind of goes like around and up and pull and snip, but I could never get on with this. So I want to show you the sandwich method of wrapping a string, and there's lots of ways of doing this. I've seen people put them through, then use like I've got an attachment here which I use if I'm restringing at schools or something. It goes on the end of the drill bit and then goes zzz. That seems a bit crude to me. If I'm doing lots of guitars, maybe, but for my guitar, my personal baby, this is the way I do it. So go up over the slot, put a bit of tension in the string, go around. You're going to go around once, one, like that. Hopefully you can see what I've done there. And then as you go around the second time, you want to go above the first winding and underneath the second. Hopefully you can see that. And that sandwiches the string. Pull it tight, push it down there like that. Hopefully you can see what I did there. Can you see the sandwich effect right there? Okay, now I'm going to get my string winder, and I'm going to keep a bit of tension right there and put tension on the string. Okay, you want to make sure that the tension is underneath the windings. Hopefully you can see that there. Yeah, so basically if it's above the windings, no good. It's not putting pressure on the nut, and that will make it buzz. Okay, so this one, it's going to get tight pretty quickly because it's really pulled back because of the trem. I'll show you one more just to give you another example. But I'm basically going to put basically tension on all the strings. So I'm going to put every single string on, put a little bit of tension on, and then tune the guitar. Okay, so here we go through the back. I'll show you how to do it quickly, like that. Pull it through. Oh, by the way, this is a nifty little thing that I made because I didn't want to spend money on a on a neck support. So what this is a pillowcase, and it's wrapped up. Let's see. So I think I folded it once, rolled it up tightly, and then secured it with duct tape, and then that's my support. And I've used this for years. It's cheapskate, huh? But it works. Look, see, it's great. So now same thing again, over the top of the nut. 1, 2, above and below, pull tight, and then wind, and that's looking all good. Just make sure it's all tight and working up here like that. Okay, and that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. And then put some tension on that string like this, and then you're done. So once you've tightened up all the strings to pitch, use a tuner. I've got heaps of these old tuners because they keep breaking. These Snark ones are pretty good. This is an old battery powered one, but I recommend getting the ones that, have the you can recharge them through your laptop, and that saves so much money on batteries. This is an old one that's now broken, but yeah, clip your tuner on the end like that. This is like a chromatic tuner, and then tune everything to pitch. E, A, D, G, B, E, or whatever your tuning is. It might be a drop D or something like that. And then once you've done that and the tremors come up, keep readjusting until it's in pitch. The last thing you want to do is grab the string and stretch it in. So the way you do that is pull here, right in the middle. So like that, not really super hard, just enough to kind of give it a bit of tension. And I'll go run up, run down, and you're done. That's it. You can also push beyond the nut there a little bit to kind of let it all settle in. Okay, and that's about it. So I hope hopefully that was really helpful. And again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try and help you out. Have a great day. See you. Bye.